Index card insights. Why your favorite self-help books suck. This is a reaction video. This is a reaction podcast episode here, guys. I'm reacting to a video by Mark Manson. He's the writer and he's the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And he's got a YouTube channel, which I enjoy. I enjoy his YouTube channel quite a bit, but recently he did a video called, Why Your Favorite Self-Help Books Suck. And it's funny because we're talking about a guy who writes self-help books, and he's saying why your favorite self-help books suck. So what is that? That's polarizing. That's contrarian. It seems counterintuitive. So Mark Manson is good at this. I think that sometimes he values, being contrarian or being polarizing above like giving people his real thoughts on something. I don't really agree with that. I think you should take your real thoughts and find a way to make them polarizing instead of like looking for a polarizing or contrarian take and then trying to shape your thoughts to it. I don't really like that. And I don't always trust his opinions, because of it. And I don't agree with everything he says. However, I don't feel like I need to always watch content or consume content from people that I agree with. I actually prefer consuming content from people with lots of different opinions. And the reason why is because if I don't hear other people's opinions who differ than my own, then I'm never going to be able to get rid of cognitive biases that I might have. I don't want to be surrounded with a bunch of people and a bunch of content, whether it books, whether it be movies, whether it be, podcasts, whether it be anything. I don't want to just be surrounded with content that basically reaffirms my own belief system and just completely, conforms to what I think. Because if I do that, and that's the natural state for people, they tend to kind of gravitate towards stuff they like and stuff they agree with. But if I do that, then I'm never going to grow as a human being. I'm never going to grow as a marketer. I'm never going to grow as a business person. I have to expose myself to things that I don't necessarily agree with. And then I have to ask myself, did that bring something new to the table that I wasn't aware of? Do I still not agree with that? Or has this person changed my mind? That's the hard questions I have to ask myself when I consume content that I don't like. But I need to do that. I need to ask those questions. And if you want to be a good business person and you want to grow your business, then you need to do that too. You can't always consume content from people that just agree with you and what you think, right? You have to be able to see it from other sides of the table. So anyways, that's a long intro to this one. But today I want to talk about a video that he did called Why Your Favorite Self-Help Books Suck. Because I think he made some really great points. Now I have 3 insights, 3 points that he made right here. And he actually made 4. And I'll talk about the 4th one if I remember. But no, let me just talk about it now so I don't forget. The 4th insight that he said was that sometimes self-help books can become part of the problem. They start out as being part of the solution, but they can become part of the problem. And why will they become part of the problem? Well, that ties into these other insights. So let's go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about the insights that he had in this video. I encourage you to go check out his channel. It's Mark Manson. Mark Manson. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a cool YouTube channel. Anyways, why your favorite self-help books suck. The first point that he made about self-help books in general is that he basically said that there's nothing new in self-help books. He said self-help books have been around for thousands of years. Before they were called self-help books, they were called philosophy and religion, right? So essentially, self-help is just another name that used to come under a different thing. There's nothing new under the sun. And I have to tell you, I agree with him. I don't hear a lot of new ideas in self-help books. You can pretty much trace most ideas that exist in self-help books back hundreds, if not thousands of years. A lot of this stuff, has been discussed before throughout history. If you study some of the greats, philosophers, intellectuals throughout history, you're going to find this knowledge cropping up in different forms over and over and over again, which leads me into my second point. Insight number 2, simple but sorry. I got off track, guys. Sorry, I'm mobile today. I don't got my notes in front of me. Look, let me rewind. So I say in the first one, nothing is new. Everything's been said before, either like in philosophy or religion. What he was saying was the packaging only changes. And what he meant by that is the way people say it, right? The way people say it changes. It's really true. Like, and the reason why that's important, though, the reason why it's important that the packaging changes is because we don't take advice like easily as humans. Like, the context of how we get the advice matters a lot and is going to determine a lot whether or not we take the advice or not as human beings. I mean, think about it, man. How many times did your parents try to tell you something, or, your mom or your dad, they tried to tell you to do something, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then, 3 weeks later, a friend of yours, recommends it, and boom, you're all over it. Happens all the time. It all just, nothing was different except the context. This time it came from your friend instead of your parents. So like, as human beings, man, we're really, really like susceptible to the context of advice. Like, it really, really strongly depends on where we get the advice from, and that's going to determine whether or not we're going to take the advice. Now, I mean, you can make the argument, why wouldn't you take advice offered by your parents? I don't know, but historically, kids don't listen to their parents. It's just an example, but the point is the packaging matters. And that's why we can have like self-help advice and self-help principles and self-help tactics and strategies. We can have it regurgitated over hundreds and hundreds of years because it's the way it's presented and who it's presented by that is making a difference, right? Some people want to learn from like a religious figure of authority. Some people want to learn from their friend who like they feel like they're just as messed up as they are. Some people want to learn from, a college professor, an intellectual, so to speak. Some people want to learn from a famous celebrity, right? It really just kind of depends on the person and the context of the advice they're receiving. It's really weird if you think about it, but that's how we are. So that's why the packaging matters a whole lot. And that's why you can have the same principles and the same strategies being taught over hundreds, if not thousands of years. And just like the way it's taught is changed a little bit, but it's the exact same principles. It's really crazy. And I thought that was really insightful by Manson. So, insight number 2, simple but difficult, right? Manson makes the argument that all self-help books are simple but difficult. And what he means by that is it's very simple to read these books and to understand what they're saying and to get the ideas and the philosophies behind them and the concepts. But it's very difficult to execute the strategies. It's very difficult to do them. It's kind of like, think about it, man. Look at how many weight loss books are out there. Look at how many people buy weight loss book after weight loss book after weight loss book. They try diet after diet after diet. Guilty as charged, but like that happens over and over and over again. Like it's the same like concepts being told in a different way, being packaged in a different way, but it's the same basic concepts, right? Watch your calories, eat vegetables, exercise more and get enough sleep at night. Oh, and drink some water. Right? Like just basic, simple concepts, but they're being told over and over and over again in all these different manner of ways. And yet people keep on buying more books and they keep on not succeeding. It's crazy. But what he's basically saying is, it's simple to understand the concepts in self-help. It's difficult to execute them. And because it's difficult to execute them, it leads people on to buying more self-help books, right? Which leads me to my third insight. Why do they buy more self-help books? Why do they continue to buy them if the ones they bought them didn't work, right? It didn't work, right? Well, that leads me to the third insight, right? Because motivation is not execution. And every time someone buys a self-help book and they read it and they start getting something delivered to them in a new package, right? They start thinking, I can do this. They get the motivation back. They get the inspiration back, right? But when we come back to the idea of why self-help books suck, it's because motivation is not execution, right? People feel like they're making progress when they're reading the stuff they've already really read before, but it's being presented in a new package. Like they're reading it and they feel like they're making progress, but really they're not making progress. They're just learning something. They're learning something that they probably already learned before. It's just being presented in a new way. But they're learning and they feel like they're making progress. But the motivation, the learning, is not progress. Progress is progress. Execution is progress. So I think that self-help books can give you kind of like this dopamine rush, this feeling of motivation when you first start reading something new, and then it wears off. And you don't execute, you fail to make progress, and you fail to execute properly. So what do? Instead of taking action and executing again and getting back on the horse, you run out, you buy another self-help book, and you start over, right? And it's like this endless cycle of motivation. And that leads us to the that one I started out with, that like sometimes self-help books can become part of the problem. They start out as a solution when you first get them and you're motivated, but eventually that motivation wanes and you have to make the choice not to buy another self-help book and to continue to execute the plan, right? And I think that's where people struggle. It's not like a simple thing, it's a difficult thing, and it's a mental thing, and you have to like overcome the mental, right? Because the thing is, when you buy another self-help book just to remotivate yourself, it's not really going to help you. You're just kind of like repeating the same loop over and over and over again. You have to break the loop, and the only way to break the loop is through execution. So anyways, I thought this was a pretty insightful video. I didn't really like the title very much, like why your favorite self-help books suck. Because I mean, obviously the guy's full of crap. He writes self-help books. He's read a million self-help books. Obviously, he doesn't think self-help books suck if he's writing them. But he's in fact pinpointing downsides of self-help books. It doesn't mean they suck. It just means these are the downsides of them. It doesn't mean they can't help people. Obviously, he feels like they can, or he wouldn't write them. I don't know, what can I tell you? The guy's contrarian, you know what I mean? The guy's polarizing, and he puts this contrarian mentality above, like, you know, pointing out his true feelings sometimes, I think, just because it gets him views or it gets him book sales. And, you know, I'm not into that, man. I'm over that crap, dude. I'm over that. I'm not into it. So I think it's stupid. So, like, for me, this was a good video, but it was hidden in a kind of a clickbaity title that wasn't really true. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Cool video. Mark Manson's got a cool channel. I suggest you check it out. It's neat. And also, be sure, if you like this video, be sure to get over to epicconversions.com. Check out my new free report. It's only 40 pages. You're not going to find no bull crap. It's all stuff that I really believe in. It's called 12 Secrets. It's all about, 12 awesome secrets with artificial intelligence in this new era of technology that we live in today. Completely free. It's only 40 pages. You can get through it easy. It's a fast read, and it comes with giveaway license. That means not only can you read this thing, but you can share it with other people as well. You can use it as a bonus. You can do a lot with it. It's awesome. It's free. Get over to epicconversions.com. Check it out. It's 12 Secrets. It'll be easy to find. Fire off an email to me at camjenningspro@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of my new special report, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Index Card Insights. Peace, guys.